So it's in particular in this second strategy of creating the opportunity for every child to come to school ready to take advantage of high-quality learning opportunities that the governor wanted to create the Child and Youth Development Cabinet to bring together all the agencies within government who are responsible for the health and well-being of children to work together on an approach that's integrated and comprehensive, that meets each child where he or she is in the early years and gives them not only the education, but the guidance and the support, the direction, the necessary services to enable them to take full advantage of the kind of high-quality education that we aspire to offer here in Massachusetts, to enable them to successfully traverse each stage of our educational system and to emerge ready for success. So that's what the Cabinet set about doing. So as we come back to our agenda, we meet periodically to review various strategies and programs and opportunities that exist for the Cabinet to engage in. We have no official budget or staffing right now. It's a question of pooling the various services and supports that we have in each of our departments. We focused initially on the very important issue of building a longitudinal data system that takes into account what's going on in a child's life from the earliest years, not only in school, not only as a transcript function, but, for example, we have children coming into our early childhood system who are already involved with 5 or 6 different agencies of state or local government or the nonprofit sector. And when teachers greet them at the front door of an early childhood learning center, they may know nothing of the fact that this child is involved in various ways with various agencies and who are pursuing various interventions with the child and his or her family. And the teachers really should know about that. For example, if there's an early childhood mental health intervention going on in that family or in that child's life, a teacher should know about that so that they can differentiate and develop a program of service and support that takes that into account. If there's high mobility due to an uncertain, uneven housing situation, educators should know about that so that they can compensate for what's going on in the child's personal life in ways that enable them to feel supported and to be able to learn. So there are lots of obstacles to putting together such a system. There are technical challenges to doing that. There are confidentiality challenges. There's a whole cultural tradition in our agencies of holding information in a very closely guarded way for good reasons. But just as we do in the medical profession, where different doctors and different sectors of the medical system routinely share information with one another and develop a portfolio that follows a patient wherever he or she goes, we need to do the same thing in the world of education. So we're working on enacting that system now. It's complicated work, it's quiet work, it's work that involves various aspects of the legal system as we try to make data available, but it's very important. Ways in which it are important are some of the manifestations that we're already working on. For example, a early warning system for dropouts. We're about to release a Dropout Commission report that talks about various strategies we need to pursue to stem the tide of dropouts that we have. 11,000 children dropping out of school each year in Massachusetts. One child dropping out of school is too much. Deeply costly to that individual and costly to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So we've devised a system that in the earliest years begins to track, because we know a number of indicators that we ought to be following, to highlight which students are struggling and to point toward different kinds of solutions and supports that can be provided to those children. So that's a project that we're at work on. Another project that we're investing in our next meeting, investing some time in on our agenda, is to look at a statewide youth development agenda. There are a number of national and state organizations with whom we're in touch who work very hard on developing an agenda of youth policy and programs and supports that we need to make broader and more comprehensive in this state. So we've done some reaching out to the field, and with the help of some partner agencies like United Way, we have done a variety of interviews, and we have a comprehensive report, pre-K through 21 report coming to us at our next meeting that will challenge us to look into developing a more official, effective youth development policy in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So that's something else that we're at work on. And we have a number of other kinds of projects on our agenda moving forward. Finally, let me say a word or two about the report. Again, I welcome the report. It contains some models from other states that are important, some challenges for us to think about. Let me pick up on a couple of those. I found the report instructive in the area of challenging us to think about regional strategies. We're trying to do that in education, but as we think about the work of the Child and Youth Development Cabinet, I think we need to think more broadly about how we reach out to the different regions of the state and develop this interagency capacity within those regions. I think the charge to work harder and more broadly on getting youth voice into the mix is particularly important, that we shouldn't be planning services and supports for young people without giving those same young people a voice at the table and making sure that the kinds of solutions that we as professionals envision actually speak to the needs that these children and their families feel on a day-to-day basis, so we can do more of that. The urgency of a recommendation with respect to involve colleges and universities more deeply in the research function is something that we've got to do. We in the policy community, generally speaking, don't invest enough in research, and given the current budgetary circumstances, we don't have enough to invest in research, so we need to rely on partners. And fortunately, in Massachusetts, we have an exceptional wealth of institutions of higher learning, both in our public system and in our independent system, who are willing to come to the table and help out on issues like this, so we need to take advantage of that. And finally, there was a recommendation with respect to including the legislature more deeply on this. And I know this is of concern to the legislature. This issue that I alluded to earlier about the dropout problem is something the legislature put forcibly on our agenda in the past year, and we're filing our report to the legislature on that soon. And I know from many conversations with legislative colleagues that they're eager to work with us on this. So as I look forward to the coming year, I think we've got several projects that will be coming to fruition, including the data system and the youth policy and development project, where we'll be reaching out to other non-governmental entities and wanting to get their voice included in this. Certainly a question was raised about accountability. How is the cabinet accountable? And I would say it's accountable through the same system of accountability that holds the governor accountable for the performance of this administration, and each of us as a cabinet secretariat responsible for our performance. We want this work to be vetted widely. We want it to be transparent. We want to provide, and we will through our various websites and perhaps a joint website, an opportunity for people to engage the youth cabinet and point us in various directions that we need to go. It's quite clear that those of us in government can't do this by ourselves. What we're trying to do for young people in our society, a heterogeneous society where wealth is widely distributed, is something that nobody has done in any society in our world right now, which is create genuine equality of opportunity among a heterogeneous population in which you have a wide distribution of opportunity and wealth. We think we can do it. We think we've got the partners in the field to do it. We want to be held accountable for doing it. We welcome the ideas and support and offer of partnership that the Rennie Center and others have brought forward. I thank you for welcoming me into your conference today. I wish you the best with your deliberations, and I look forward to working with you on this agenda in the future.